Can y'all see me? Am I too close? Trying to see myself in the camera. Happy Friday, everyone. I just filmed my video on my eyeshadow tutorial for Beauty Counter. As you know, I'm a consultant for Beauty Counter, but I'm also one for Doterra. Don't be trying to read my address. Should have moved that. Okay. So I might not unbox every month for what comes in my Doterra box. That's what you're supposed to say, Doterra, not Doterra. Anyways, I went to a meeting last weekend and they had a scan. I can't remember how to pronounce the name of the company, but they had a scan that you put your hands on and it came back with a list of oils, like oil recommendations. I don't want to say that, you know, these oils popped up on the scan. They're like, oh, you have to get them. But the recommendations for what your body's telling you that you need. So I just wanted to share those oils that I purchased based on the scan versus, you know, what I get on a monthly basis. So let's get into it. I'm going to start with supplements and then we'll get into the oils. As always, my monthly supplements are the Doterra Lifelong Vitality Vitamins. These are great vitamins for your energy, for your mood, and definitely for your immunity. And, you know, it's January, it's the time of year when we've got extra germs floating around, so this is great to take on a daily basis. The next one is Copaiba, and this is one that popped up. I think it did pop up as the soft gels. You can take the oil of Copaiba or you can take the soft gel. This is an oil that's for your nervous system. I know, I'm still saying a lot. I know I was probably nervous when I did the scan because you're thinking, like, what is it going to come back with? What are you going to tell me that I need? So this is one that you can use for nerves when you're nervous. Some people use it for pain reliever. They even say for a baby you can rub it on their gums to alleviate that teething. So I haven't done that for my son yet, but I'm definitely keeping it in mind. The camera moves, so I want to make sure we're still good. So I'm curious about that. These are my phytoestrogen, which I think I've mentioned in a previous video. I didn't need the bone nutrient yet, but remember, this is the one that helps balance your hormones. I'm about to finish, I think it's my first bottle, or either one of my bottles is MIA, but I do want to do a review on this and the changes that I've seen. I'm on the fence about it, I would say, because, not to get TMI if you're a guy watching this, but, you know, as a woman, you want your cycle to be regular on a consistent basis, and I have not seen that yet. I was using a progesterone cream, and I felt like that was helping to keep my cycle more regular. I stopped the cream because I started this, so I'm planning to keep taking this and start using the progesterone again, because this does help balance your hormones as far as your estrogen and progesterone. But, you know, from the research I've heard about is that the older you get, the less progesterone your body produces on its own. So I'm just thinking that maybe mine is not producing enough to keep me regular, so I may need that cream even though I'm taking a supplement. So stay tuned on that. Deep Blue, that's one that I like to have on hand. It's like your natural ibuprofen, and for me, for some reason, I like to take it at night before I go to bed. I feel like it helps me have better rest, even though I've been having nightmares lately. Don't know why. And I don't know if I shared in a video before, but when you order your monthly vitamins, you get things like Deep Blue at a big discount, because I think this bottle wholesale is like $60, but when you order it in combination with this, the Deep Blue is $20. So you get a great discount on that, and I like to take advantage of that. The next and last one, so this came up for me when I did the scan. It's the On Guard soft gels. So this is the gels that are supposed to protect your immunity. and fight off anything that your body may be trying. You know, if your body's trying to fight it off, the oils in here are going to help that much more. And I will say my son was sick last week. He had a fever, runny nose. Thankfully, I haven't been sick yet. But with doing that scan, I thought, these are good to have on hand. It's not something you have to take every day, but I would say this time of year, knowing you're going to be around sick people and germs just because they're going around, it's good to have. So I'm probably going to start taking that because my son does go to daycare. So, you know, he gets introduced to new germs all the time. So the first oil is frankincense. So last month, Doterra had this special where if you ordered 200 points of like personal volume, you got a free frankincense. Well, for January, they extended that special. So frankincense is one that I love to have on hand. I use it for stress and mood. This is also a good one for immunity. If you go on Pinterest, you can look up like the recipe for a flu bomb, and frankincense is one of the ones included. But it is good for hormone balance and for mood, and I feel like I've seen a positive effect by rubbing it back here on the back of my neck. So I have it on hand for that. Breathe was recommended in that scan. So my body probably is trying to fight off something, or was trying to fight off something with being around a child who is sick. But Breathe is really good to have on hand. It's good to diffuse at night because it can help you sleep better and breathe better while you're sleeping, especially if you have someone that snores. And I like that it has melaleuca in it because that helps kill off like viral infections and things like that. Who does not love bubble wrap? That is a good stress reliever. Okay, so you know, or if you don't know, every month Doterra has, when you order 125 PV, you get the free oil of the month. And for January, that was grapefruit. And I'm thinking they probably chose grapefruit because January is like, you know, the month of the year where people are really thinking about everything they had for the holidays and wanted to take off a couple of pounds. And from what I've read, grapefruit can boost the mood, but it also helps to suppress your appetite. So you can put it in your water. I just want to smell it. Now, I do not like to eat grapefruit. It's way too sour for me. But I think in my water, I'm going to test it out. One thing I want to say, if you ever do use one of the doTERRA oils in your water, do not put it in a plastic cup. Do not drink it with a plastic straw. I need to be reminded of why that is, but it will eat the plastic. And so you just want to use glass. And glass is safer really anyways for whatever you're drinking. Even though I drink out of my Starbucks cup. Yeah. It's all about balance. So we've got 2 more oils. Or, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I talked about grapefruit. I did not talk about, this is a funny sounding name, spikenard. So this is another, okay, I'm just going to say, I think there were about 7 oils that came up on my scan. I didn't get all 7 of them, but spikenard, from what I read, that one helps with stress too. Which, if you're a mom, if you've taken care of children, taking care of a child who's sick is stressful. So I'm sure I was more stressed last week. That smells good. More stressed last week than maybe normal. You know, single mom, sick child, missing work, just all those things. But anyways, yeah. With doTERRA, spikenard only comes in a 5 milliliter. Some of their oils do, and I think that the ones that come in 5 milliliters are because it takes so much of the product to create that oil that's why it's not any bigger. The next oil is Roman chamomile, and this is a good one to use at night. Smells good. So I know that one of the ladies, she was talking about Roman chamomile came up on one of her scans one time, and she said I had been low on sleep. And then she's like, didn't you mention that your child had been sick? So I was also tired last Saturday. But yeah, this is a good one to rub on before you go to bed. So I will try that. And last but not least, Melissa. This is also, let me make sure my camera is not crooked. This is also an oil that came up. You see that's in 5 milliliters. I just want to explain with doTERRA, because I'm a member and set up with their points system, you earn points, you earn all your shipping points back every time you order. And if you have a qualifying order, you get loyalty rewards points, and those will build up over time. So Melissa pops up on my scan, and I think it is the most expensive or one of the most expensive oils. So I used my points for this instead of paying for it, but I looked it up on YouTube because I like to do the research on stuff. I've looked it up on Pinterest. People rave about this oil. It has a very distinct smell. And I also, and tell me if you've heard of this one, there's a Melissa oil challenge where you take and put a drop of Melissa oil on the roof of your mouth, because that's what gets to your brain the quickest. And I know I've mentioned it before, but as someone who's, on medicine for postpartum depression, and if you know anything about that, you know that it's not something you just snap out of. It's a slow coming out of process. So I'm thinking that that's why this one popped up for me. And I've heard it has a lot of benefits for helping you feel more positive, have more positive thoughts. So I will do a review on that to let you know. But yeah, there's a Melissa oil challenge out there, and apparently you're supposed to do like 12 drops in 12 hours. You do one every hour on the roof of your mouth, and then you go to like 1 drop a day. But the problem is they didn't say how many days you do the 12 drops. So if anybody knows like how many days you do that, because as you can see, this is a 5 milliliter bottle. You're only going to have so many drops. That's okay. But it's also a very expensive oil. So I've been trying to think of like what's the most efficient way to use this oil without running through it, because I want it to last at least a month. And if I have really great results from it, then yeah, I'm going to order it again. So those are all of my oils. If you have any questions, or if you ever want to try a sample of something, please reach out to me. I will also leave my website below for my doTERRA site, but I appreciate you checking in, and I just appreciate being able to have the opportunity to share with you about non-toxic products that are going to enhance your life. I hope you have a great weekend. Stay safe.